you have to have a long-term vision when it comes to business. And you mentioned open houses as well. That's also the number one, destination for me when it came to attracting buyer leads, especially in this market. So don't be afraid to put the time in, especially in a business like this, because this is a compounding business over 5, 10 years. It's not a quick 1, 2 year, maybe I like it, maybe I don't, let's stop. It's a business where you have to continuously put the time and effort in.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest, Naeem, is a realtor in New Jersey who works often with investors and retail buyers in some shore destinations in New Jersey. Horace, welcome to the show.
How you doing?
It's great to meet you. It's great to connect here. I'm born and raised in New Jersey. I'm actually in New Jersey right now in North Jersey visiting my parents. And of course, when you think of New Jersey, you think of the Jersey Shore. But before we dive into shore real estate, I always ask guests at the top of the show, Horace, how they got started and got into real estate.
Absolutely. So I grew up in a foreign country, actually. So my dad used to be in real estate. I grew up in Pakistan. My dad used to be a realtor there. So I kind of, got an early start into the business because my dad used to do it. He would just take me out to his meetings. And, I was meeting buyers and sellers when I was very young. And, I got very fascinated with the idea of negotiating and, negotiating on behalf of clients. So I got the firsthand notice, especially when I was, 9, 10 years old, of my dad just taking me out and, seeing how deals happen, even if it was in a foreign country. But then, came over here. I started my business about 3 years ago and, haven't looked back.
Now, is your father involved in real estate in New Jersey as well? Has he done deals in New Jersey?
No, so he just did that back home. He hasn't picked it up here, but, who knows? Maybe in the future.
Okay, so walk me through getting into real estate 3 years ago, because I got in this year and I feel like it's an interesting time to get in. 3 years ago, you still had lots of people, at least where I'm licensed in Texas, who were having this maybe hangover from this tremendous buyer's frenzy that we were in due to the low rates. So that time things were changing, right?
Yeah, so that's when the interest rates kind of picked back up. So I did join a little bit too late for that buyer wave to go past. Maybe I should have joined 5 years ago, but I joined 3 years ago when the interest rates were, absolutely at the highest. So I kind of got that grit to be able to kind of, put in the consistency that's needed for this business, especially when, there was not too many people looking to buy or sell at the time. So I got very familiar with the process of real estate, especially just, having mentors by my side who were teaching me. And even if nobody was buying back then, I got very used to the process and, put in the consistency throughout the years over the past 3 years. And, we're here now. So,
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Now, I know how it can be challenging even in a good market. And I don't think we're in the worst of markets right now, but it's not the best, I would say, for anybody. And I think that's a fair statement. Um, but even in the best of markets, as a newer realtor, the on ramp can be challenging because you're brand new. You're dealing with more established people. You're trying to learn the lay of the land. I know that's the way it was for me, at least, and I started earlier this year. Walk me through, the on ramp for you. What was the first 6 months you're like, and then even before that, what was your process like for getting licensed? Did you do it online? Did you go to school?
Okay, so I did get my license online, and once I joined this business, I knew which market I was going to focus on. So even when I started within the first 2 3 months, I specifically worked towards the shore market, the coastal areas of New Jersey, and I remember calling for sale by owners and expired listings, and I would just walk into these expensive houses with people who are professionals. And I just was very fearless starting in this business. And, a lot of newer agents would, chances are they'll be a little bit nervous to talk to professionals and, corporate executives and, all these surgeons. But I did not feel that at all. Like I knew which market I was going to focus on from the very beginning, especially when I started in real estate. So I just, I was like, I have to just call up for sale by owners and expired listings and to be able to just have the confidence to be able to walk into these houses with professionals and, pitch myself as their realtor.
Now, for new agents who may be starting out, they may listen to this and say, "Gosh, that's a lot of confidence and courage to just walk, kind of right into the hornet's nest there, dealing with some higher net worth individuals, coastal areas, right?" When you were brand new, did you join a team? Were you locked into mentorship? Was it learning on the go? What was that process like for you?
So starting out, I always knew there's benefits to having a mentor, but you have to be self-sufficient in this business. I'm sure you're a realtor as well. You're an independent contractor. So if you don't go out there and absolutely go after your, dreams in life, chances are you're not going to get them. So it's very important for you to be self-sufficient, but it's very easier. It's much easier for you to have a mentor by your side just so you can avoid the learning curve just a little bit because they'll just teach you things so you don't mess up within the first 3 months of, going into the business.
Now, when we're reaching out to the FISBOs, the for sale by owners, that can sometimes be tricky, right? Because these folks may be hearing this from a lot of people, realtors, wholesalers, and the like. Getting your foot in the door is a testament to how convincing the conversation was. Any feedback for newer realtors themselves who may be trying to go that route?
Okay. So here's what I learned about for sale by owners. They tend to be very, hard headed when it comes to selling it themselves. So I did not go in there with the intention of, I'm going to convert this for sale by owner today, right now. I went in there looking at the house and, I kept in touch with all of them throughout the weeks, months, and, sometimes even years until they decided to finally stop for sale by owner and decide to go with an agent. So it's very important for you to not have short-sightedness when it comes to for sale by owners, especially in the market that I'm in, where, they don't have to use a realtor and that's completely in their right to not use one. So it's very tough to go in there and convince them that they have to use one. You're better off just talking to them, creating a genuine friendship or a relationship with them. And then when they do decide to list with an agent, you're the first call.
Now, when we talk about that process, especially for newer agents, they may think, okay, well, I'm getting started. I'm now I've got to wait years to get this listing agreement, but that's part of the game, right? And so building your pipeline is huge. And I think especially for new agents, but also more established ones, we can sometimes forget that it's like building a snowball. It's momentum, right? And sometimes you can't even really identify like, hey, what was the genesis of this lead, right? But you can keep the ball moving. And if you're doing open houses, if you're reaching out to for sale by owners, if you're having these conversations, you're connecting with other realtors as well. Some of those shots are going to drop.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And you can't have a vision for 1 to 2 years that you have to succeed in this business. It's a compounding business. So, like, you have to know that chances are you're going to have to put off immediate gratification for long-term gratification in this business. And that kind of goes with every other business that you work in, whether you're an investor or, you're a realtor or you have some other small business. You have to have a long-term vision when it comes to business. And you mentioned open houses as well. That's also the number one destination for me when it came to attracting buyer leads, especially in this market. So don't be afraid to put the time in, especially in a business like this, because this is a compounding business over 5, 10 years. It's not a quick 1, 2 year, maybe I like it, maybe I don't, let's stop. It's a business where you have to continuously put the time and effort in, regardless of if you see results within the first year or two, because it compounds over time and then you get momentum and then you can, go towards the right road of actually succeeding in the business.
Now, investors, which I know you're heavily involved with, are a different, segment entirely. There's tons of realtors in Texas, at least, who will distinctly service investors or retail buyers, and you're able to do both. When did investors start coming into the picture for you, and was that something that you intentionally went after? Hey, I'm going to go work with investors as well.
So it's recurring business when you start working with investors. So a lot of investors, they don't just buy once, they continuously buy. Whereas if you're buying a single family home with a family who's looking for a beach house, they're less likely to buy over and over again. The turnover is a lot longer than it is with investors. So that's where it kind of clicked, where, for a business to actually be able to run properly, you have to work with investors because they're always looking to buy, especially when there's something that, makes sense for them on paper. So that's where that came in. And, I've always been interested in real estate and, why not work with investors? They're great people.
Yeah, let's go. I'm in full agreement with you there. Sometimes I can at least say in my experience, not all realtors love working with investors, but as someone myself who came from the distressed property acquisition realm and working hand in hand with investors, was very much aware that there was this distinct world here, and that has since been verified now that I've gotten my license. I want to ask you, Horace, about the different areas of New Jersey Shore real estate. There's multiple shores, right? It's a long coast there. And then also too, what types of deals are investors looking for? Are they looking for, opportunities for short-term rentals? That's what I can imagine they're looking for. And then also, what do they do with the properties in the winter?
Mhm. So the specific areas that I tend to focus on is Lavalette, Seaside Park, Orly Beach, Mantaloking. So these areas, they tend to have very good income for 10 weeks in the summer. But then once it gets colder and, they still have the option to be able to have a winter rental in some of these places, if not all. Some of these places do allow for winter rentals. So it's not a matter of, just short term rentals. You can also have a winter rental in there as well. So it's not just 10 weeks in the summer. It can also be you find a buyer who chances are you're not going to get as much income as you're making in the summer months, obviously, because it's very busy and most of the areas here get, sold out. People are looking to rent per week, but you do have income that can come in during the winter months as well.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Now, it's got to be an interesting ball game being a short-term rental investor, Airbnb type deal, summer to summer, because it's like end of year shopping. You're like, okay, we're bracing for the new season here. Uh, Specifically in these shore communities, you must have, heightened competition, but also tremendous demand. Walk me through some of those dynamics, both for myself and for folks who may not be familiar with what it's like in these shore towns.
So in the summer, obviously, everyone wants to come down from up north, New Jersey, down to the shore. And a lot of these areas, Lavalette, Seaside Park, Ortley Beach, they tend to be booked out for the whole summer. So it's very tough to even find a rental there unless unless you look early on. So it just comes down to whether you're looking to have a long-term vision when it comes to your investment, especially in these shore towns. Houses appreciate really well here. So are you just focused on the yearly income that you're making from this property, or are you also focused on the appreciation that you're going to get out of this property? So it's not only about the cash flow that you're getting on these properties year after year, but it's also the appreciation that you're getting from these properties year over year.
Now, I know there's no one size fits all strategy for investors or even a background that they come from, all walks of life. Do you see most of the investors managing the properties themselves? Do they have a team that does that? Are they maybe local to these beach areas, or could they be, potentially from any area of the state?
Okay. So there are, a lot of investors, especially the ones that portfolio isn't that large to be able to, handle it themselves, that do manage their property themselves. But there is a large amount of investors who have teams in place and have people in place that kind of helps them scale their business in these areas instead of them just doing everything themselves.
Now, when we talk about Airbnb specifically, and I'm thinking about those summer months, the 10 weeks, right? You're dealing with turnover, of course. You're dealing with changeovers. You got to clean the place. You might have, you know, some damage or things come up, right? Are investors aware that there can be this much I don't want to say chaos, but controlled chaos that happens, and are they typically ready for that, or do you see, especially with newer investors, some level of growing pains where hey, I'm getting texts at 11 o'clock at night, I've got guests that arrive early, place isn't cleaned. How do people manage this, especially if you're working a job?
Yeah, that makes sense. That would, come into play, especially for investors who are looking to manage everything themselves. But a lot of areas like Lavalette, like Seaside Park, sometimes you just end up getting the same people every year for the 10 weeks of the summer. So once you've had a tenant in there for a week that doesn't damage the property, is very respectful to you, and it's very respectful towards the property as well, they tend to stick around because a lot of people who are going to visit down here every summer in the summer are going to come back. They have family down here, and they want to spend at least a week down here in the summer. So it's very important, obviously, for investors to just find these people who are respectful with their properties, respectful of their time and their effort and their money, and keep these people consistently coming year over year to the property. So I've seen that a lot in Lavalette, where people have the same guests coming over year after year, and their property is in beautiful shape year over year. And I recently just
Yeah,
sold
they've got
something
people they
on a
trust.
Brown app, Lavalette as well. I mean, this property was built in 1980, and there's barely any damage to the property. I mean, it's an older property, obviously. It's not a new construction, but there's not much damage. They have the same guests coming in year after year, and they're respectful to their landlords.
That's a good thing. It's interesting that we're talking about this idea of short-term rentals, but also the same guests. Because typically when people think about short-term rentals, they're thinking about, okay, well, this is going to be new people. I maybe don't know, but if it's the same folks year after year and, they're keeping the place tidy, it is a win-win for everybody. I do want to pivot here, Horace, and ask you about the communities themselves that support these properties. We were talking before hopping on here about new development, new construction, and in these beach towns, I recall years ago, it might be difficult to, find certain businesses or places to go do certain activities. And you might even have to drive outside of the beach town a ways in order to find some of these things that people may be searching for, like gyms, for instance. But I understand now there's quite a bit of development in many shore towns to where they're more towns than they're just, once a year short towns.
Exactly. It's a sense of community that they get down there, especially in Lavalette area. It's a sense of community, and there's stores very close by, so they don't have to drive to stores. They can just walk a couple feet down and they can get a coffee and they can get, food items. And also with Seaside Park as well, there's a very famous boardwalk there. So there's food items there throughout the summer. And obviously, with the people and stuff, it's a sense of community in a lot of these beach towns at this point. And, some of the people that come there every single year. So like they get to meet their family members, they get to spend great time with them. And it's a sense of community here.
We are coming up on time here, Horace. Where can folks go? Where can our audience go if they're maybe interested in reaching out to you, or maybe they have a deal that they'd like an investor to take a look at, or they may be looking for a shore house for themselves? How can folks reach out to you?
So I am on Instagram, listwithhorace.com, and or list with Horace. I just named my website by accident, but same handle on Facebook. So I'm very easy to find. You just write my name and you'll be able to find my information, my contact information, my phone number, email. Reach out to me anywhere. I'll be able to answer you.
Horace, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for today's show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing on your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. You can also check out the show's notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and even how to work with me directly one-on-one. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. See you on the next show.